Hi, I'm Scott Axman. Welcome to Valuist.com. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about what exactly the Valuist philosophy is. You see, there's one negative energy that stops people from all creation. And that can be put into a category of a variety of different emotions, including depression and feeling of unworthiness. When you're in those states, it's impossible to do any work. It's impossible to get anything done. You're so filled with anxiety that even the thought of making a move in the right direction shuts you down. So a lot of times, because this feeling is so painful and so destructive, it'll create a level of despair that's so great that it'll push people to a higher level, a level that actually makes creation possible. The problem is that that first level, that first evolution, is still in a negative energy. And there's three different forms. They are the fear aspect, guilt, and greed. When you're in that feeling of despair or that unworthiness, sometimes that energy is just so awful, you have to do something. And it's so fearful that if you don't take some action, that you're afraid you'll get stuck there and it'll lead to some bigger turmoil. So you initially jump out of that energy, but you make rash decisions. You don't think it through. You just immediately start taking action. And sometimes those actions will hurt you in the long run, hurt your business in the long run, or it could hurt the people that you care about most in the long run. And to give you an example, if you were frustrated with your business and so frustrated that it was creating a despair that you weren't taking action, you weren't promoting your business, you weren't doing the necessary work to help things get better, and then the bills piled up and piled up and piled up and the IRS is knocking at your door, you might get to this position, I just got to do something, I got to take some action. And out of that feeling of fear, you just start taking action in all different directions. And sometimes it leads to even more problems and more negative results. The other negative energy is a guilt energy. Again, if you put yourself in that position where you really were suffering through some difficult times, you might feel that energy and be talking to other people about how hard things are currently, or how much you're going through, or how unfair things are. And from that energy, it makes it impossible for you to recruit people to your side. It's difficult for people to come down a level. If they're actually living on a high level and making their life better, it's difficult for them to step down and wallow in the guilt with you to help you out. They want to help you out for sure. But the third energy that you have to watch out for is the greed energy. You start to think, man, if I could just make changes in my life, I'll just do anything to make these changes, then I'll get out of this negative energy and I'll be in a better state. And from that energy of greed, again, it's a short-term solution that doesn't produce long-term results. So the whole Valuist philosophy is to help you not just get out of the despair and that negative energy that makes creation impossible, but to evolve past the three negative energies so that you could create real value. And let's talk about this, because a lot of people misunderstand the value and sometimes they equate that with the greed mindset. If the value that you're promoting is solely for your business and your business alone, or solely for your own development, well, that's just the greed mindset. A Valuist philosophy is a fair value for value exchange for everybody involved. So let's look at this from a business owner. If you're really going to make a change in your company, there has to be a value for your company. There has to be an improvement of the gross revenues or your reputation, or in some level, something that's going to make your business better. But if that's the only thing that you're concerned with, well, then you're in the greed mindset. You also have to concern how this is going to affect your customers. If you're not concerned with them, again, you're back in that greed mindset. But if you're concentrating on a way to make their life better, to actually improve their experience, now you have a fair value for value exchange for both the business and the customer. But there's a third element. What about the people that work for your company and that are working in your company? And if you're a sole proprietor where you're doing most of the work, you have to separate yourself from the company aspect and also your work aspect to consider yourself as an employee at this point. Because if the employee who's involved with this company is not bettering their life, if they're not growing, if they're not improving, if they're not getting value from this, and I have to tell you, it has to be above and beyond the pay package and their benefits. If they're not getting something more out of this that makes their life worth coming to this company and giving of those resources, then you're not participating in a fair value for value exchange. Now, what happens when you do this? Well, the growth is slower. That goes without a doubt. It's harder to produce these three energies, these three synergies. But when you get them all to click, man, things go 10 times faster and 10 times bigger than you initially expected. So what is Valuist.com? It's a weekly message designed to help keep you on track, to give you tips and strategies to move your company forward by using this philosophy to improve your marketing systems, your sales systems, and your overall profit. And the best thing is just all you have to do is just subscribe. It's a free service to get started, and you'll get access to our YouTube videos and a lot of free resources to help you move forward. So I hope you'll join us. I hope you'll be one of the early adopters for Valuist.com. Thanks for listening.